Ah, it's not going to give me a location until I wait till the following day. 6 a.m. you say? Of course, I got to wait an entire day. Of course. I really wish it would skip faster. I get that it's trying to think in the background about the changing the time of day, like in the real world, but it's still, it's frustrating when you gotta wait so long. The same can be said for Skyrim.
According to the arrival schedule, there will be a ship arriving from Mondstadt today.
I'm going.
The artist for the Five Kasen portrait should be on board.
There should
The boat
be
should be
Albedo.
arriving soon, so let's head down to
Right,
the
it was Albedo on the avatar. Do I have access to the advertising? Yeah, I do. Yeah, there he is. I knew I'd seen it. Where's the ship? That's my question. There it is. Just pops out of nowhere.
Hello! You must be here to take part in the Iridori Festival. We're the festival guides, and we'll show you around.
Yes, that's right.
Lara.
We are bards from
That's right,
Mondstadt.
the bards. But Albedo should be with the bards, yeah?
Word has it that
Oh, no,
Inazuma
he must
has
be on the second
undergone
boat.
many changes of late. We hope to find fresh inspiration here.
Paimon, what are you doing?
These guests are all bards, aren't they? Well, where's Tongaff Bard then? Huh. Strange. He's pretty famous in Mondstadt. Do you think he didn't receive an invitation?
Even if he was invited, there's a chance he still wouldn't show up. Yeah, I agree with that.
Huh? Why's that?
Well, you know, Venti's an Archon.
Oh,
You know.
Paimon sees what you're getting at. Even though Venti no longer rules over Mondstadt, he's still an Archon. If he came rushing to Inazuma at the first mention of a festival,
Oh my
not only
god.
would it seem a little childish, it would also sort of be shameless of him too.
Who brought her? Oh no.
Miss Honorary Knight, Paimon!
It's Klee.
It's Klee! Were you also invited to the Iridori?
I highly doubt a child was invited.
No, Albedo's the one who received the invitation. But because everyone in the Knights of Favonius has been really busy these days, Albedo arranged for someone here to issue me a dependent pass.
I guess everybody at the Knights of Favonius was sick of Klee, you know, antics and went, Albedo, she's your problem.
Greetings, traveler and Paimon. After hearing that Inazuma was making preparations for the Irodori festival, I predicted that I might run into you here.
Ha! Paimon knew it! Albedo's the one they've invited to paint the Five Kasen!
It seems that you already know why I'm here. Just so you're aware, I'll be using my pen name in Inazuma, Calx. Oh, by the way, do you know where the International Trade Association is? I'll be meeting with the editorial director of the Yai Publishing House there.
Follow me.
Yeah, the International Trade Association is where you'll be staying in Inazuma. We'll be heading there too.
Great. Let's get going then.
I was not expecting Klee. Oh, this is about to get super interesting if she's involved. Oh, man. Yes, I know. Probably could have fast traveled to the top of the hill with the statue, but whatever. It's been a while since we've been to the docks of Rito, so why not experience them again? Wait, where is the international delegation that normally work here?
Wow, it's so
Klee, don't run off.
beautiful here! So many things I've never seen before.
Slow down, Klee. Please be careful not to bump into others. Telling Klee so many stories about Inazuma during the trip was probably not the best idea.
Well, it would have kept her entertained at least.
As a result, she could hardly sleep all the way here. It appears she's even more excited now that we've arrived.
That's how kids are.
Strange. It seems that the editorial director, Mr. Hiroyama, isn't here yet. I'm certain he said that he'd be sure to arrive before me. This might be a problem.
What's wrong?
Well, Mr. Hiroyama was supposed to meet with me and give me some reference materials about the Five Kasen today. That way, I could better visualize the content for my paintings.
You mean you had no idea what you'd be painting before you arrived in Inazuma?
I only know of the Five Kasen by name. Because of the sheer age of the tale, very little has been passed down to this day. So Mr. Hiroyama decided to help me collect some more information.
Makes sense.
I'm the type of painter who can complete a painting quickly as long as I'm inspired. So I agreed on only receiving the details today.
So when do the paintings have to be done by?
According to the festival plans, the portraits will be revealed one at a time throughout the various stages of the Irodori Festival. The first one, depicting Suiko, will need to be done before the festival's official opening ceremony, which is the day after tomorrow.
The day after tomorrow? And you're already running out of time!
There's no need to panic. When I was working on light novel illustrations, because the manuscripts are shipped by boat, things were always tight and finished at the last minute.
He's a light novel cover artist. Were you short on Mora, Albedo? Why did you take those commissions?
Just last month, to ensure the latest book of A Legend of Sword would be finished for the Irodori Festival, I had to complete the final chapter's illustrations the same day I received the manuscript. I heard that my illustrations were sent to print as soon as they arrived in Inazuma. I still don't know how well they turned out.
Well, we can probably get the book while you're here.
Paimon isn't sure if she should feel sympathetic for your working conditions or compliment you on your artistic genius.
Of course, I would still prefer to receive any possible reference materials in advance, so that I can be better prepared.
Speaking of which, Miko did mention.
Oh, right! The editors of the Yai Publishing House will all be around the Outlander Affairs Agency these next few days. Who knows? Maybe Mr. Hirayama's over there too. We'll take you over there to see if we can find him, Albedo.
Alright,
Klee,
it's worth a try.
come along.
Klee, you haven't slept for a while now. Please stay at our residence in the International Trade Association and get some rest. We will be back soon.
Okie dokie. Don't worry, Albedo. I'll be on my best behavior.
Why does that worry me? She's gonna get herself into absolute trouble, isn't she? Alrighty. Is he missing?
This can't be happening. The moment we need to contact Onodera is when he's on special leave. Kuroda and I will go back to Inazuma City for an emergency printing run. The demand for this book is so high, though. Even with the emergency prints, it still might not be enough.
How was he granted special leave at the same time as the festival? That seems suboptimal.
Despite everything, we're still lucky that we found out today. If this had happened a few days later, then we'd really be in boiling water. Hey, do you think that suspicious guy they found in the warehouse has anything to do with this?
Well, the editorial director is on his way over there to investigate the
okay.
situation as we speak.
Sorry to interrupt, but what's going on here?
Oh, hey, Traveler. Don't worry. It's nothing, just an internal issue. That's all. How can I help you?
Hirayama?
I'm looking for the editorial director, Mr. Hiroyama. Does anyone know where he is now?
Mr. Hirayama is currently at the warehouse down by the harbor.
So we probably literally passed him on our way up.
Oh, hold on a second, Murata. Excuse me, but you must be Calx, the one who was invited to paint the Five Kasen for the festival?
Yes, that's me.
My name is Kuroda. You must be inquiring about information regarding the Five Kasen. I do apologize, but please make yourself comfortable at the International Trade Association, and I will let Mr. Hirayama know to send you the materials right away.
Oh, no need. You guys look super busy, so we can go find him ourselves.
About that.
I've just noticed you've got Super Saiyan hair. It looks ridiculous.
Excuse me, but is there something wrong with the latest volume of A Legend of Sword?
Huh? How did you know?
Since you were all aware that Mr. Hiroyama needed to send me some supporting materials, that means the editorial director didn't forget about it. Instead, something urgent must have cropped up. To add to that, despite being aware that I am Calx, you were still unwilling to let me go to Mr. Hiroyama directly. After considering these factors, the only reason you would try to stall me is if something happened to A Legend of Sword, which I did the illustrations for.
Well, I'm very sorry. The situation is just as you said, Calx. I suppose it doesn't hurt to tell you now.
Where is, illustration stolen? Like, what happened?
Earlier today, someone spotted a suspicious outlander sneaking around inside the Iridori Festival warehouse down by the docks. So they promptly alerted the Tenryou Commission. The Tenryou Commission was concerned about potential cargo theft, so they contacted everyone who was renting space in the warehouse. It was then that we realized that the latest copies of A Legend of Sword had suddenly gone missing.
What? The books are missing?
Shh, not so loud. Not only is this book an eagerly anticipated release in the last phase of the Iridori Festival, but the author, Jinyu, will be personally attending the release party as well.
Because of the dire situation, Mr. Hirayama immediately hurried to the warehouse to determine whether the theft was related to that suspicious outlander.
I see. It would be a great misfortune if A Legend of Sword would not be released on schedule. And quite a disappointment for Jinyu as well. If Mr. Hirayama has gone to the warehouse at the docks, then I'll go down to see if I can be of any help.
So the author of A Legend of Sword is Jinyu. Sounds familiar. Hey, isn't that Xingqiu's pen name?
Already called it. That's interesting. Albedo and Xingqiu have never met before. This will be fun.
Oh, do you know him?
We've met on a couple occasions, / had him in my party for a bit.
Xingqiu would definitely be upset if he discovers his books are missing. Let's accompany Albedo to the warehouse too.
And back down to the docks. Exit. Oh, we're not even going to the docks. Okay. What the fuck is he doing here? Ugh, I'm not gonna deal with Venti. Wait, I'm sorry, what? Venti and Kujosara. Oh, this is bad.
Huh? It's you! Why are you here?
I'm here on behalf of
Not
the
you.
Tenryou Commission, of course. Is that surprising?
No, Sarah, Paimon wasn't talking about you. So, tone-deaf bard. The suspicious outlander in the warehouse wouldn't happen to be you, would it?
Considering the evidence, it appears that the suspicious outlander is indeed me.
So you're obviously not the thief.
As I have told you, you are a suspect. Before your allegations of theft and illegal entry as a stowaway are cleared, you are to remain silent. Don't make me say it again.
Lol. She's talking to an Archon like that.
Traveler, Paimon, do you know this self-proclaimed bard from Mondstadt?
You could say we're quite familiar. Gets my better judgment.
Listen, Sarah. Knowing him, it's safe to say that he wasn't behind the theft. But what's this about being a stowaway?
Did you not receive an invitation?
Although he claims to be a special guest for the Iridori Festival, he's failed to present his invitation letter. Therefore, we can only suspect that he might have entered the country illegally. And just a moment ago, we caught him in a dandelion wine crate near the Sailing Breeze.
I am unsurprised. Could we ask him a few questions?
If it would help shed any light on the situation, then please, be my guest.
Oh, Venti! You didn't really come here illegally, did you?
Ouch, your words wound me. We've been apart for so long, and the moment we meet again, all I'm greeted with is grilling questions and suspicious glares.
Well, they kind of warranted.
You arrived in Inazuma via similar means, or so I heard. You of all people should be more understanding, don't you think?
Completely different situation. 1, I wasn't allowed in at the time, technically speaking. I got smuggled in. 2, I came with bigger, loftier ambitions than whatever you're here for. I was here to save things. Okay, to be fair, that was a side benefit. I was kind of just here to find out more about my brother, which is weird that I would go to a secluded place to find out about my brother, who couldn't have gotten in there in the first place due to the seclusion of the country. But hey, we'll ignore that.
Similar means?
Let's not bring up the past now.
I merely jest. Fear not, for the person who sent me the invitation is none other than Kamisato Ayato of Yashiro Commission. It's unlikely that someone acquainted with the likes of him would ever be here illegally, right?
But why weren't you on the same ship as the other bards?
Well, Once I received the invitation letter, I couldn't help but want to come to Inazuma a little early. It was then that I happened upon a cargo ship bound for Inazuma transporting dandelion wine. So, naturally, I decided to set sail with them.
Yeah, because you wanted to drink the dandelion wine.
Once aboard, I found the captain to be a kindred spirit, and I was treated to an abundance of fine liquor along the way. I must have fallen asleep in the cargo crate while carefully comparing the tastes of dandelion wine and Inazuman sake. And when I woke up, I found myself in this warehouse with a Tenryou Commission General glaring at me from atop the grate.
Coming from Venti, this story is quite believable. But it still feels a bit...
Shameless.
Excuse me, I'm the owner of the stolen goods from the IA publishing house, and there are some questions I would like to ask you.
He's probably passed out, so he didn't hear anything.
Based on what you just said, it seems you've been in the warehouse for some time now. If that's the case, did you happen to hear anything unusual?
Actually, I did hear some faint footsteps around me a couple of times, but I didn't consider the sound anything out of the ordinary.
But if you clearly heard something, why didn't you feel it was unusual?
Oh, I seem to understand now.
Makes one of us.
Huh? What did you notice, Albedo?
When it comes to burglars, they are generally associated with prying or rummaging through things. What Venti means is that he did not hear anything unusual like that. As for the sound of footsteps, because this is a warehouse where many goods are coming in and out each day, it is quite normal for people to be walking around.
I see. But if that's the case, then we're back to square one regarding the stolen books.
No, not quite. From the facts that have been presented to us, we can draw at least 3 conclusions now. First, whoever took the novels is not a spur-of-the-moment burglar. They had their sights on the books from the very beginning. Second, the culprit was very familiar with the warehouse, and might even have a key. And third...
There must be more than one criminal involved. I'm having a feeling it's Onoderu, because he was iffy at the time, and now he's on special leave. So obviously it has to do with him, though I'm not quite sure why.
I knew you'd catch on, Traveler. One person couldn't possibly transport so many heavy books in such a short window of time. It must have been a team effort. It goes without saying that Venti clearly does not match up with our culprits.
Yes, I agree with your reasoning. Mr. Hirayama, the Tenryou Commission will continue by investigating the warehouse staff. If you come across any further clues, please notify us immediately.
Yes, understood. I'll leave it to you then.
I suppose I'm free as a bird then.
No.
Not so fast. Even though we've cleared the theft allegations, we still haven't ascertained whether your arrival in Inazuma was legal or not.
We need Ayato to confirm that he did indeed receive an invitation.
Aw, 'tis a shame. I thought surely after my honest account you might let me off the hook.
Sara's quite the meticulous one. So, where's your invitation letter, Venti?
Yes, the invitation letter. I'm truly sorry. I can't seem to remember where I may have put it.
Surprise, surprise.
How could you lose something so important?
Don't be mistaken. I was well aware of how important it was. But I didn't bring any luggage with me, and the letter was too big to fit in my pocket. So I kept it in my hand the whole trip. Strange. Though I had a little too much to drink, I know that I kept it in a secure place. I even recall being most pleased at coming up with a good idea at the time.
If you were holding the invitation in your hand the whole time, then why did you put it down?
Well, to properly compare the taste of Mondstadt wine and Inazuman sake, I had to hold a glass in each hand. I couldn't both hold the invitation and a glass at the same time. But surely I wouldn't put it in just any random place. It could easily be misplaced.
So obviously it's with the books.
In which case, I believe there's only one place it could be. Have you figured it out, Traveler?
Huh? You're way ahead of Paimon. Do you two already know where the invitation letter is?
No.
Huh? That doesn't sound right. The invitation is pretty big, isn't it? And if it's in his shoe, he would feel it when he's walking.
Drinking too much may occasionally render the tongue a little numb, but it's true. It certainly wouldn't affect the feat.
Oh, we're going through every single option? I thought we were just doing one to continue the conversation.
Huh? Are you sure? His cape doesn't even have any pockets to put stuff. But hey, a cape with pockets isn't a bad idea. You should try and get it tailored sometime, Venti.
Well, people do often claim that capes and the like serve no real purpose other than aesthetics. I suppose a cape with pockets would really turn the tables on that crowd. Ah, yes! I remember now. I knew you'd help me find it.
Oh, is it actually in a set? I thought it was supposed to be bigger than that. I was thinking it was in the books. Oh, no, okay, it is there.
This is indeed an invitation letter issued by the Yashiro Commission. Now that we've confirmed this guest's identity, I have no further questions. However, starting tonight, I would advise you to stay at the International Trade Association. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll be leaving now.
Bye, Sarah. We'll never see you again this festival.
There goes Sarah. All right, let's go talk to Mr. Hirayama about Albedo's reference materials.
Mr. Hiroyama, I'm Calx. We had originally arranged to meet today.
Ah, yes, so you are Calx. I'm very sorry that you've arrived in Inazuma only to find such a mess. These are the materials regarding the Five Kasen. All the information that we could find is compiled here.
Oh boy. About the Five Kasen. Long ago, there were 5 legendary poets in Inazuma. Supremely gifted in music and writing, they were honored as the Five Kasen, meaning 5 fairies of singing and poetry. It is said that the shogun loved their works profoundly, and that every year one of them would go to Tenshukaku and present their new poetry collection for the shogun's perusal. Hey, speaking of which, can't we get the shogun to describe what they look like? That would help Albedo. The 5 Kasen are known as Suiko, Aoi no Okina, Akihito, Sumizome, and Kuronoshi, respectively. But their real names were lost into history. According to a widely accepted theory, tales of the 5 Kasen had once been repeatedly adapted and performed on stage, with the 5 characters each dressed in a distinct colour: green, blue, red, white, and black. Well, that makes sense, because blue, red, I don't remember the word for white, but that doesn't look familiar at all. And kuro, black. So I don't see what you have to do with green, and I don't see what you have to do with white, but that's okay. Over time, theatregoers started referring to them by these colours, hence the names we see today. Still, there exist other theories. For instance, some believe Suiko was named after his dwelling, a thatched cottage called Suiko Hut. Some also say that the aka in Akihito was derived from the poet's habit of marking his words with a scarlet red seal. About the tales of the 5 Kasen. Everyone in Inazuma knows the tales of the 5 Kasen, and stories featuring them were once all the rage in Inazuma. What is unfortunate, however, is that despite the popularity and abundance at the time, not much detail survived till today. Most are probably lost during the Great Calamity 500 years ago. According to existing literature... it would have been Makoto who'd appreciated the poets, not A. I think. Would A like poetry? Hard to say. According to existing literature, during the Golden Age, when many such stories have been created, they usually followed the same set of rules. 4 poems in succession, each telling a fragment of the story from a Kasen's point of view, with the 4 together completing the whole tale. What was curious was that no single chapter seemed to be narrated from Kuronushi's perspective. Well then, what did Kuronoshi ever write if he was not included in the 4 chapters? 5 Kasen summary. Suiko, a free, sake-loving soul born into an ordinary family. Some say he got the name Suiko from Suiko Hut, the thatched cottage he lived in. Aoi no Okina, an old man accomplished in chess. In addition to his poems, he has also left behind a few novels. Some say he was actually a shogunate official who had not made a name until his senior years. Others say he was not a human, but a very old kitsune in human form. Akihito, a talented swordsman who most likely came from a martial family. Some say his name was derived from his habit of marking his works with a scarlet red seal. Sumizome, she was once a shrine maiden skilled in floral arts and dancing. Later she became the shogun's personal attendant. Yeah, we should definitely be asking A about this shit. Some say she resigned from her position after she became famous and devoted herself to artistic creation. Others say she kept serving the shogun into her old age. Kuronushi. Little is known about him, nor does anyone know who he really is. Maybe this explains the more varied versions of his identity and personality from story to story, as compared to the other 4 Kasen.
Let's see here. Yes, it's just as I had suspected. Monikers such as Suiko and Aoi no Okina aren't the real names of the 5 Kasen. Though there were once many stories regarding each of the 5 Kasen, the validity of their contents can no longer be verified in present times. Alas, what a shame.
Which is why you ask the person who has living memory of them.
But, at the very least, we know that most of the stories were written according to a similar style. So there is still something we may glean from this.
So, is the info useful for your paintings, Albedo?
To some extent, yes. However, I must admit that it is still lacking and fails to fulfill the most crucial element. Inspiration.
Still say you should go CA.
I am sorry that this information is not as exhaustive as you had hoped. However, it is not possible to gather anything more at the moment. Though, Lady Yae did say that there are many variations of the story about the 5 Kasen, and everyone has a different story in their heart. So all you need to do is follow through with what's in your own heart, and create something that you yourself find interesting.
Yeah, but that's not very... Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not keeping to the original people. It's just being randomly creative.
That does sound like something Miko would say.
Thank you, Mr. Hirayama. No need to worry. I'll find inspiration for the portraits.
Great. I'll leave it to you then, Calx. Oh, and there's one more thing I need to ask of everyone. Tomorrow morning, Mr. Genyu, the author of A Legend of Sword, will be arriving in Inazuma by boat. If you see him, please do not mention the stolen novels for the time being.
This would be the first thing we mentioned to Xingqiu.
Whether the stolen books are eventually recovered or not, the Yae Publishing House will do its best to ensure that the novel's release is a success.
I get it now.
You have my gratitude. I'll be going then.
Well, seems there's nothing more we can do here.
What's he doing?
Let's go. Huh? Venti? What are you doing over there? You don't want us to leave you behind, do you?
Traveler, Albedo, would you mind coming over here for a moment? There's something peculiar that I think you should see.
Ah. That's E. My apologies. Oh my gosh, he stays there for a long time, doesn't he?
What is it, Venti? A piece of paper?
Indeed. When I awakened to find myself in the warehouse this morning, I discovered this paper in the cargo crate where I was sleeping. I didn't think much of it then. I thought it was merely a scrap piece of paper that had fallen into the cargo. After a quick glance, I stuffed it into a place nearby.
Sorry, stretching.
But on second thought, I think it's worth having you take a look at what's written on it.
The 5 Kasen Splendor. Suiko. Mine dwelling was far from the wider world, but for my fame my peace was disturbed. In blue-clad, I went before Tenshukaku to present our work, but Aoi's work was missing a page. I knelt and begged for divine wrath to be stilled, and I told what I knew of how it was lost. The previous night I had been drunk, and then a person's shadow had passed over me. Some treacherous scoundrel must have stolen the poem, leading to my great loss of face.
Let me see. Suiko chapter. Wait a minute. Isn't Suiko the name of one of the 5 Kasen?
The story told in this poem roughly boils down to Suiko getting tipsy and letting some poems that were meant for the shogun get stolen. Ah, this story sounds familiar to my ear. Where have I heard it?
Seriously? It's literally the same story you just experienced yesterday.
Oh, indeed it is. Interesting, isn't it?
It almost seems related to the stolen novels.
Yes, I concur. The person who left this paper could quite possibly be the criminal, or even a witness to the theft. But why leave the paper here in such a fashion? And if the one who left it here was a witness, why didn't they attempt to stop the burglary?
Because they're being blackmailed? Is Onodera, whatever his name was, who still looks like Shiguro, I'm convinced. He's been blackmailed to steal the shit, but he wants to leave a trail so that people can find it and absolve him?
All right, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Meeting together in Inazuma like this is a most rare occasion. Since we've been busy from the start of the day, let us find an inn with good drink to keep our thirst at bay.
We have a massive crime to solve and you just want to go get drunk? People wonder why I don't like Venti.
Hey! You just sobered up and you're already thinking about more drinks? And let's not forget that Albedo still has a portrait to complete. We don't have time to be slacking off.
No, it's fine. Let's all go for a drink together. It'll be my treat.
Hashtag priorities.
Wait a minute. What about your portrait?
As I mentioned before, I'm the kind of artist who can work quickly once I'm inspired. And now, it seems I've found my source of inspiration.
Alcohol?
If I use a model as reference for the piece, we must pay him back with the appropriate recompense.
In that case, we'll need to order more dishes. One year, the poet Suiko made his way to Tenshukaku and presented the Kasen's work for the shogun's perusal. But a page from the works of Aoi no Okina had been torn out, and Suiko was questioned regarding the matter. Suiko pleaded guilty. He admitted to drinking at the tavern the night before, and vaguely recalled a mysterious figure approaching while he was intoxicated.
Wow, you really came through, Albedo. You were able to complete the first portrait before the opening ceremony.
Out of curiosity, in this story, assuming it's real, I don't know if it was, but if it were real, are they trying to insinuate that Aoi no Okina was the one who tore out a page? Because they were wearing blue.
Yes, it really is a sight to behold. Not only does it harken to the traditional style of Inazuma, but it also makes use of modern aesthetics. My figure is particularly striking. Even though I'm sound asleep in the portrait, I still appear as glorious as always.
Hey, don't get too full of yourself, Tone Deaf Bard. You were just a model. The person in the artwork isn't actually you.
Is Aoi no Okina going to be Shinshu as a base model?
Well, Albedo, who will be your next portrait?
Klee? Gonna be the red person? Akihito? Probably not.
The next one will be Aoi no Okina of the Five Kasen.
Albedo, might I suggest waiting a little before starting on the next one? Who knows? You might soon discover another story.
Another story?
I believe he's referring to the possibility of finding another paper with tales of the Five Kasen. According to the reference materials I was given, we've only found the first of a total of 4 chapters.
Do you think the mysterious person who left the first paper will strike again?
It certainly is a possibility. Also, there are some points regarding the stories of the Five Kasen that have left me rather curious. For example, the reference materials make mention of 5 legendary figures, yet all the popular stories only consist of 4 parts.
That's what I was questioning.
It appears that throughout all the stories, there is never a chapter dedicated to Kuronushi.
Yes, I'm also curious about these stories myself. But who knows? They may merely be akin to the old saying in Mondstadt. Seeds of stories brought by the wind and cultivated by time. So for now, we need but just wait patiently.
Alrighty, part 1 complete. Magnificent Itadori Festival has started and is about to finish. Alrighty. The palace dyed in black. Ooh, we're going to go see A in the end anyway. The moon and stars scribe. The Mondstadt bard Len is discussing poetry quite passionately with the Inazuman poet Otomo. Guess we have to do this quest. Oh no. I can ignore that and do this. I can just keep going with the main and then worry about the sides afterwards. Much better. Okay. Hit the Rito Docks at 8 AM.